Thank George for graciously inviting me to come up and eat some of his salad. I did this completely capable, and it went over really well with Sigma Lodge and Carol, and I'm hoping that you'll get something out of this tonight. I also wanted to thank, and I'm not even sure how to phrase this, George, the Grand Lodge, as I understand, is having another meeting, a neighborhood meeting, and that they kind of jostle around their schedule so that I could be here tonight and deliver my presentation. My thanks to you. Thanks to everybody who traveled through many distance to get here. Also anybody who's not a Mason yet or any Masonic affiliates who are here to glean anything that they can from the presentation. Thank you for coming. Without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. What we're here to learn about is King Solomon, King Solomon's Temple, and why is it significant to the Masonic organization. I'm going to give you some brief warnings. Presentation is made by a newly made Mason. November 18th, I was raised. At that point, I thought there's a lot of information that's been thrown at me. I have a lot of questions. I'm a public speaker and I don't mind sharing information. I need to land on something that is going to be the most fundamental question that I can find for what is Masonry. And this is what I came up with. So I'm still quite agreeing with this. If everything I say isn't completely correct or you have a slightly different interpretation of it, impression of it, that's very possible. If you disagree with me, feel free to speak your mind. There's nothing to stop you here. I am also what I consider to be a biblical amateur. I've done my reading. I feel that this is all fairly accurate. I don't know if it's going to be dead on all of the different theological systems out there. I certainly don't mean to step on any theological toes. So if anything that I say is maybe a little bit different than your normal worship, your normal theology, certainly none of that was intentional. I am a person who loves to ask the question, why? I feel why is the most important word in the English vocabulary. Because when we ask why, it forces you to surface your motivations. And when I surface your motivations, then I surface your values along with it. There is some information missing in this, intentionally. From what I talk about tonight, volumes have been written on King Solomon, the temple, everything surrounding it. So it's very possible that you're going to look at this and say, hey, but you left out this and how many cubits and what color, and you bet I did. Because there's no way I can possibly fit all of that information in here tonight. So with the limited time frame that I have to work with, bear with me, I'm sure that there's a lot more information I can put in here. As I said, there are potentially different biblical interpretations that you may have, or I certainly don't mean to step on anyone's toes religiously today. And this is just my personal opinion. This is what I have found in my reading so far. Like I said, a couple of months in the Masonry. Who I'd like to introduce to you is Alec, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Gerard, from Norfolk, England. If you have a chance to look at that, I'm going to step out of the way so everyone can be sure that they can see that. He is standing in front of a self-created ceramic recreation of Solomon's Temple on a scale of 1 to 100. This man has created something that's 20 feet wide, 12 feet long. It's what he thinks is the most accurate, and most experts agree is the most accurate representation of King Herod's temple, which after the original temple was destroyed and rebuilt, it was called Herod's Temple. He has spent, I don't know how to go back. No. He has spent 33,000 hours recreating Solomon's Temple in hand-produced brick and whatnot, all authentic clothing, all authentic colors. The man is maniacal. He has spent an awful lot of time reproducing this. Recognized as the best reproduction on the planet. My question is, why would someone spend so much time and be so interested in Solomon's Temple? Particularly with us as Masons. He had over 4,000 figurines that he's put into this. The man likes his work. I like my work too, but for a different reason. This is why I like my work. This is why I joined the Masons. Coincidentally, I have my nephew Nicholas here today, who's done a little reading on this, and he's at least somewhat interested in the Masons, at least enough to show up in the tablet with me. When I talk to my friends, my family, anyone who has a Masonic discussion with me, I like to go back to the axiom of the Masons is here to make good men better. And really, Solomon's Temple is the foundation that we can take all that back to. We do this through relief, brotherly love, and truth. Now, why was there a temple? Well, that's actually a representation of the Ark of the Covenant there. The temple was a holy place to store, pay respect to, and conduct religious life around the Ark of the Covenant. Simple. But why do Masons orient themselves with the temple? Because really, the temple itself was not among the 7 wonders of the ancient world, or at least not the official list of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. So why aren't we the Masons of the pyramid or the lighthouse or something like that? Well, good question. The significance of the temple, first of all, is that it's the most basic allegory to Masonry. It's what ties the operative Mason to the speculative Mason. It provides that missing link from the people who are the stonecutters to the people who just like the methods and the philosophy of the stonecutters. It's a foundational point to the Old Testament. We're going to talk more about that, or I'm going to talk more about that as we go along. It's also a historical truth. I'm going to tread lightly on these next 2 points. Was there a Temple of Solomon? Yes, there was. Are there still some remainings? Probably. We think that there are. Yes, we know that there was one. But on the other hand, it's partly legendary. What we know of the temple, we know from historical accounts. We can't go to the temple now and take a tour through it. We can't look around it. We have to rely on what's been passed on to us from historians and through the Bible and whatnot. It's not a pyramid. You can't go take a tour and see what was there. Therefore, it requires some faith to imagine it, to understand it, and to appreciate it, much like our own organization. The most sacred, marvelous, luxurious tent. The tent was called the tabernacle. If you're a nomadic people, you have to be able to set something up that you can dismantle and take with you next time. So let's talk a little bit about the tabernacle. The tabernacle is, first of all, the Israelites, and we'll discuss that a little bit. The way that they made money, the way that the Israelites funded themselves, was they were herdsmen by increasing their flocks. During the job, you should have more herds. They also made fiber from camel and goat hair and wool. They made fabric out of grass, which if you think about that, that's got to be some really comfortable fabric. Trading around as they roamed. Of course, as any nomadic people is going to do, is you encounter those people trading and interacting with those folks as you go. And lastly, the Bible states that the Israelites spoiled the Egyptians on their way out of Egypt. The reason for this was, and I guess I'd like to throw a little Bill Cosby into this, when Moses performed these miracles and then brought the 10 plagues upon the pharaohs, it was that, how would you say, that convincing that freed the Israelites from Egypt. It was more than freeing at that point, because Moses was basically saying, I can keep this up for a long time. How much more bad news do you want me to bring you?